Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're talking about Silver Surfer and how he performs in Cosmic DD4. I have to say, ever since Silver Surfer has been released, this has been the number one question I've received. And that's because, of course, after I was one of the first people to complete Dark Dimension 4, I put out this infographic, which I've been updating each month, and everyone's asking me, will Silver Surfer appear in this infographic? If you've been following this channel, you know I've been testing Silver Surfer out in the unrestricted nodes. Now we've reached Cosmic, okay? And let's just, before I get into the nodes and test out Silver Surfer with you, and you'll be watching at exactly the same time as me and seeing how he does, I do want to talk a little bit about the Cosmic section. One thing I will just say is there's a lot fewer good choices than there are in Global. Global is an easier section. I think you can basically just get through if you choose any reasonable group of meta characters. Certainly taking Sinister, Emma, or Ghost will help a lot. In Cosmic, it can be a little more brutal, particularly that last node. So when I was racing, this was back in December, so it's months ago. I was one of the early people in there trying to get into city. I think there was only two people ahead of me into city, so I was trying to catch up to them. And I brought in a team of Thanos, Proxima, uh, Minerva, and Longshot. And I brought in Longshot at the time based solely on how his kit looked on paper. He had just been released days before, but it seemed like he would be good, and I really needed to use some mutant uniques. And I just was going to rely on Minerva's damage. I figured her ult would eventually get me through while I was getting the uniques I needed for City. I have to say that team just did okay, not super great. It did make its way through. Longshot did perform fairly well. On my second run, I brought Shatterstar, and that's when that team really did well. So in this last run I did, when I was streaming to work on videos and so forth, it took me I think 2 attacks on the first node, 2 attacks in the second node, and 5 on the third, which is very very low. But the real top performers, when we look at the data of how these teams have performed for everyone, is that Hela and Minerva are really the top performers, particularly when they're together. Partly because you could do the same trick that many people, including myself, did in Dark Dimension 3, which is to have Hela die while Greg, her summon, is still alive. Then Minerva reses Hela, and you have two Gregs, and that's really powerful. Sometimes people can even pull off a third Greg. That can be really powerful. When they're paired with Mordo, because Mordo does very well with Hela, but horrible, very bad without Hela, but he does very well with Hela. Those three can be a real power combo. The Dad Bros together also do very well. As I mentioned, when I'll run, let's say, a five-person team with Proxima, Thanos, uh, uh, the Dad Bros, and Minerva, the Dad Bros just carry the whole team to victory, and the rest are just kind of there to eat some hits, and Minerva helps keep them healed a little bit, but basically the Dad Bros are the stars, just blowing through everything. So if you're, what I will just say is Silver Surfer, based on just how he did in the unrestricted nodes, is almost certainly going to perform well enough to get onto this list somewhere as, like, let's say, a reasonable meta choice, perhaps. But, but the question is he good enough to be a better choice than, let's say, Hela or something like that? In other words, he's probably it would surprise me if he's not at least as good of a choice as Thanos or Thor. Um, but Thanos is just a marginal choice who most people brought in just because he was good in Arena. Thor is really only useful when you have Hela, and Hela is the one doing a lot of the work there. The question is, how good is Silver Surfer? That's what we're going to answer today. And what I will say too is one name that you won't see on that list, of course, is Bishop. I do have Bishop at G15 here. But I have, my testing and the testing of others has really shown that he doesn't perform all that well on his own. So he's not on there for a reason. I sometimes get people asking me that. So look, the DD4 infographic is below. We will be updating it with Silver Surfer. I have Silver Surfer maxed out as much as you can as a legitimate player, okay? I didn't buy any extra offers or anything. I have him at the 3 stars. I have him at ISO 5. I've T4'd all of his abilities, and he's at 98,000 because I don't have full Stark Tech. Okay, I'm still a relatively new player. I've been playing for a little over a year. So let's give this a try, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to replicate how this would be for a newer player entering Dark Dimension 4 Cosmic for the first time. In other words, sure, I could take a whole team of 5, but you're not going to have 5 when you're first starting out, right? What you're going to have is a team of 4. So let's figure out what our team of 4 should be, right? Well, I don't think that most people are going to have both of the Dad Bros. They're not going to have Bishop. He's 90 uniques, very expensive. I think most people are going to have a team that looks something like this, right? So here, I'll give you an example. You might have, I don't know, Minerva here with Thanos, and then you might have Proxima and Silver Surfer. I think that's a team that I could see a lot of people bringing to DD4. It's really similar to a lot of the teams that I'm seeing now, except that people are asking me, should I bring in Hela for 90 Mystic Uniques or should I bring in Silver Surfer? And I think one thing I can do today is by bringing this team in, I can answer really how good Silver Surfer is, because this team is very similar to the team I originally ran DD4 with, except I had Longshot in this spot. So we'll see how well it does. And one thing I just want to warn you is as we enter this first node, the first wave is going to be brutal. There's a lot of ults that you're going to hit, and they basically, for most teams, you just have to eat all of the ults. Now, that can be different if you have the right team. I will say, if you have Hela and Mordo and Minerva and all this, if you have the perfect team, you can get through it well. With the Dad Bros, I have, done well with eating the ults, and then I one-shot the node after that with the Dad Bros once they could get rolling, because they take some time to get rolling. But let's see how well this team does. If it does bad in its initial attempt, that doesn't mean Silver Surfer's a bad choice. But I want to prepare you for that. And I just want to show you how this goes instead of showing you, editing out the right attempt. This way you'll just see how it goes from the beginning. So we're going to zone in and give this a try. One thing you'll notice is my layout here, where I've got Thanos feeding Minerva, and then I have a space, so that this way there isn't a chain from Minerva, for example, to another character. Thanos with the taunt would be feeding Minerva's ult. Silver Surfer is off on his own on the other side, along with Proxima, who is very, very fragile. She does, bring some value with her stun and so forth, but in turn meter reduction, but she's definitely pretty brittle. All right, so Emma Frost always performs her ultimate, which is tough. Strife performs his ultimate. That's that. So her ultimate, of course, is that mind trick thing where it removes all your buffs. Strife's ultimate is the AoE ability block. Very difficult. So we're going to put this on a 2x speed. The reason we do that, wow, look at the resistance. That's fantastic. And notice, and by the way, this is without a Cosmic Hero on the team. And I did that purposely because I just don't think that most players are going to have a Cosmic Hero coming in. It's not like most players are going to be bringing in Silver Surfer and Thor or something. They're basically going to be bringing in a team that they already were bringing in. They're just going to swap out Hela for Silver Surfer. So that's really the choice here. So I'll tell you, one of the things that makes this hard, of course, we have the Magneto. As you know, his ultimate is very powerful with all the blinds. You got the Strife ultimate, which thankfully we got some resists. You've got this ultimate here, and then he gives, he being Blob, gives deflects to everyone. So I think what I'm going to do, is potentially just use offense down here in the hope that I get some resists. So I do have the T4 on our offense down, so we'll just throw that on here and just see how we do. I mean, this is going to be brutal. Like I said, we have no cleanse, no way to cleanse our team. Except now we have Silver Surfer. So now what I could do is I could ability block Emma Frost, but unfortunately I'm blind. So I think what I'm going to have to settle for here is, blinding Emma Frost. But unfortunately, I don't think let's see now. I don't think the Emma Frost ultimate is going to, whether she's blind will matter. I'm going to check this now on msf.gg. By the way, this sort of thing is what I actually did when I was in Dark Dimension for the first time. In other words, I would look and see. So this attack is unavoidable. That means that her being blind won't help me. We've already eaten this ultimate, but I do think getting the retaliations gone from Blob would be nice. But, so I could put Blind and Blob and seal his offense up, which also really helps Silver Surfer. So I'm going to do that instead. Another option would be to try to use this, but I think this is also something that would miss because he's blind. So we're going to transfer the blind, and he resisted it. Okay, that's unfortunate. So you have these Namor ults. Proxima may not live very long. Okay. Once again, the great resistance on Silver Surfer. That's been a real plus. Another Namor ult. Now, one thing I should mention is my team is not full Stark Tech. That does impact the performance of my team. Although we're much closer than we were when I completed DD4 months ago. So I'm just going to, you don't want to aim for Blob because he counterattacks. So I'll just aim here. We're seeing the regeneration. Okay, we will aim. He's going to miss no matter what because he's blind. So we're at least just going to get the hits on Thanos. Okay, boom. Oof. Very tough. All right, so now she always uses her ultimate. And so why don't we ability block her now that we have that? I think that's probably the best. All right. Let's just see how we do here. That may have been a waste. Maybe I should have just eaten these ults. One thing I will say is Silver Surfer is the last man standing here. He is very, very tough. I'm impressed by that. So maybe we'll steal all of these buffs. We got the speed up at least. That's nice. Okay. We'll steal some more. So let's... Yep, I'm just stealing the deflex as well. I figure there's some value there. Okay, now we got the ability block, although he's got a great basic. Okay. This didn't go all that well. But I will just tell you something. Surfer took a lot of turns. He was the most survivable. His ability to transfer off debuffs was very useful. Now we're going to bring this team back in again. I purposely didn't edit out that wave because I think a lot of newer players get scared when they have those, very bad, results on that first wave. So I just wanted you guys to see that. So now let's go back in. Now that we've eaten a lot of ults, and let's see how the team really does here. Yeah, that was actually very impressive so far, the performance from Silver Surfer. And we're going to try this again. And I have a very good sense because, look, I've already run DD4 3 times. I've changed around my team slightly, doing testing for videos and stream and just my infographic. I don't put anything on my infographic that I'm not very confident in, that I don't have a lot of feedback either from myself or other players. Data of players I really trust. Okay, so he did land the ability block. Now I think here we're going to remove Blob's offense up. I think that's worth doing. Perhaps I should have just done that here. That was actually a mistake. I should have had Silver Surfer steal it, but I'm going to steal these from Strife because we have been able to. We got the ability block off of Strife, which I like. Yep, and there we go. We got the resistance there. That was really nice. Wow, amazing resistance here. Now we're able to use the Minerva ult. I didn't want to do it before because she was blind and I wanted to make sure that hit. So we're working on Strife first. And I don't know what the right choice is here, okay? I mean, there's a lot of good choices. I think what we'll do is I'm gonna stun Blob because I think I don't want those constant deflects, although it's nice that they can get stolen here. I think what I'm going to do I'm going to do this because I want to get the defense down on these other characters so that this way we get some more damage on them. Yep, more resistance there. That's fine. We don't really care that much about whether or not Proxima's blind. That doesn't really matter. Or, excuse me, Minerva's blind doesn't really matter that much. All right. Wow, that's an amazing amount of healing there. I think I'm going to steal this deflect, even though Strife is closer to being, down. I'm just going to steal the deflect if I can. Now that's interesting. One thing I didn't think about is I was giving Blob some taunt there, which is not good. All right, well, we're going to toss that ability block onto Blob, which is nice. All right, because he was vulnerable. We have another one. Wow. All right. So she's going to res Proxima. We'll have Proxima toss her little spear around and give everyone offense down. And then we're back to this guy, right? And I got to tell you, I think stealing the speed up is the way to go, even though I was considering using that ability block. But I think that's the right call here. Hopefully, okay, she does this again. Good, he kept his buff. Very impressive. More resistances. I'm really shocked at 3 stars how good he has been. I think we're going to ability block Emma Frost here. Even though I'm sure Magneto may be ulting soon, I think we might be able to burn down Magneto and Strife. It's possible at least. Oh, he resisted again. Amazing. Amazing. All right, we're going to use that taunt again. And we're going to focus Strife because he's going to do the constant ults as opposed to the just once in a while. I don't care that much that I've lost Minerva, which is really saying something here. There we go. I mean, I got to say he's doing really, really well. Now, is he doing as well as, I don't know, Hela? That's really tough to say. But man, he sure seems like a fantastic performer to me. Certainly, him and Hela at even star levels might be awfully good. All right. Once again, we've got, we're down to only these 2 characters. Amazing, huh? They're focusing Thanos because he's low health. Just shows the immense survivability of Silver Surfer. Wow. Amazing. Just insane how many turns he's taking at this point. His speed, as you know from his passive, just goes way up. Pretty soon he's going to be soloing 1-on-3. And then we will... it doesn't make sense to blind Emma, so we will blind this Namor here. We'll do this because it actually does ability block her and does stop her from healing. You can see when she's ability blocked, she actually does end up just basicing, which is really nice. So what I'm really trying to do here is get as much damage as possible on the Hela. Excuse me, at the Emma, I mean. Ironically, she does more damage on her basic. You could see here that he takes so many turns because the blind's there. He has that amazing passive that gives him additional speed, and then also, there we go. Very good performance. We're going to do one more. One more. So what I want to do is one more attempt here, show you guys how it performs. This is a decent option though. Let's see here. We're going to do one more. Now, he would do a lot better with Longshot because Longshot's a cosmic hero. I think Longshot's, he's going to be a better choice to bring along with Surfer, but I'm assuming most of you aren't bringing in Longshot. That's why we're doing this. I'm trying to compare apples with apples. And I think it's safe to say he's far better than Longshot is solo here. With Shatterstar, I don't know. Probably not. I got to tell you, because Longshot and Shatterstar here, we could even try that, and you could see if we take out. Yeah, I'll show you guys. We'll do this last attempt, and then I'll show you how the Dad Bros do in comparison, so you'll see. So we're gonna let's do this here. Stun her. That's basically her one move. Proxima is really doesn't have a lot of moves here that really make a difference. She basically does her stun. She does throw that offense down, which can be nice, but you can see she's very brittle. And so, she's really kind of, just a debuffer is essentially what I would consider her there. All right, so here what I'm going to do is use this ability to get the defense down on Emma, which, okay, so that already went away. Should have timed that a little bit better. Don't really care that much about the Namor ultimates. They're very powerful in war, but outside of war, not so much. You could see really the goal here is just here we're going to, just try to shut down Emma. And then once we shut down Emma, the goal here is going to be to just reset our cooldowns. Okay. So now it's all about resetting cooldowns. We're just basicking over and over again. See, there we go. We got the Minerva ult ready to go. This is what you do. It's how you play DD4. And I know this is a little slower than you might be used to. But by the way, if you are not used to going through this carefully in DD4, it's something to consider. DD4 is something that is best played like a chess match or something rather than as something where you're trying to mash buttons, okay? This is not, a fighting game or something like that. It's not a first-person shooter, okay? It's a turn-based game. There's no timer. You can take as much time as you want. Okay, so Domino always performs her special. That's actually it's something that'll target the lowest health on our side. X23 always performs as her ultimate, so that makes that's the one where she just attacks the low health, so you really want to be careful there. That's the primary target is X23. Okay. So given that, I'm going to do this and get the defense down. This puts the disrupted on Hulk, defense down on my primary target there. We're going to put offense down on X23 as well. We're going to use her ultimate here to get some bleeds on and to, most importantly, get some health removed. We're going to put the ability block on X23. I mean, we're basically going all out here to try to do what we can on X23. Okay. As I said, it goes for the low health. And I think what I'm going to do here is get a stun. No, Negasonic. See, and you can see why I why I was trying to stun Negasonic, because X23 is already ability blocked, and you can see getting these heal blocks are just nasty. All right, so here we'll try to transfer that heal block, and we did. All right, we're going to do this to just get rid of some of those dodges and, the counter and all that. Okay. We still have those heal blocks. Those heal blocks can be real problems, so we'll throw out our offense downs. Okay. Yeah, you can see, once again, Domino is focused on Proxima for obvious reasons. So here we're going at x23 even though she's got dodge. Uh-oh. Yeah, Minerva's gone. You can see that's where I want to focus on x23. She's so good. All right. There we go. You could see, once again, Silver Surfer's the last one standing, and that's because of the ability he has where he heals on anybody's turn. So if it's X23's turn or so forth, he heals. So, okay, you could see here the damage. Yeah, and one thing I will say about X23, I mean, you could argue that maybe you want to save X23 because she does heal herself. The problem is, you know, and I got to be very blunt, the last couple times I've run this, I had the Dad Bros, so it was really easy. But one thing I would just say is that the problem is she will murder you there. So okay. So as I said, I got this down in 2 attacks with the Dad Bros instead of Silver Surfer. So Silver Surfer on his own is not better than the 2 Dad Bros. So what I'm going to show you now is, let's see. You've gotten a sense of how well Silver Surfer does here. 1 million. He did better than the Dad Bros on that first attack. But then the second attack, if you look here, this was my second attack with the Dad Bros. Here's the team, right? Same team without Silver Surfer and the Dad Bros. I'm second on the charter. 14, same as first. 14.13, just one shot the rest of the node. So let's see now. I'll just show you so you can see the difference for yourselves. We're going to take out Proxima, or here, wait, we're going to take out Proxima and Silver Surfer, and I'm going to show you how much better the Dad Bros are so you can see for yourself the difference. Because I think that is useful. If you've never seen how they perform, you could see for yourself why I have them as such high performers on the list. Now, this doesn't completely directly answer the question about Hela, and it's because I haven't brought Hela to Gear Tier 15, although I do think she's very useful in the Doom raids. I use her there on the Mystic nodes. She's great even if you don't have Doom in the Mystic part of the Doom raid. She's also very good in some of the Greek raids as well. She's useful on offense with the Hela Naturals team where you take off Elsa with the Supernaturals. Okay, so here we go. The Dad Bros have been buffed since my last attempt here with them. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Dad Bros in the house, right? So, okay, they're going at the Dad Bros. Can she knock out a Dad Bro? They're pretty beefy. Answer, no. All right, so we're going to do that because we want to get rid of that dodge. Oh, you got a crit. Oof. There we go. We got the defense up, got the barrier. So it looks like Longshot will live, although it was a little close. I was worried there for a second, and then you see Longshot takes care of business. So what the point here is now, look, obviously we're dealing with, these are 7-star, that's a 7 red star. That's a 7 red star Longshot, okay? And a 7 yellow, 5 red Shatterstar. The thing is, and you only got a 3 red star Silver Surfer. The difference is, though, when you look here, that, you know, Longshot's damage is just so much higher, right? I mean, that's the thing. You know, you could see how quickly he was burning down X23, right? I mean, he's got her almost dead. Here we go again. Boom. Look at that. Hulk's down. The other Hulk, I guess, is not happy about that. Okay, here she goes again. She might kill him this time. I don't know. Nope. I thought maybe we'd have to have Minerva res him, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, so I think we're going to aim for the Hulk. Just to make sure, because there's a dodge here. I want to make sure he got enough crits. This can't be dodged now. His basic also got buffed, which is crazy. There we go. Getting rid of that dodge again. There we go. So you can see the difference. I mean, there's no question that the Dad Bros are fantastic, and I will just say I have occasionally had people tell me, because I had originally showed off the Dad Bros in DD4 in a video on OMG's channel before I was doing some content creation on my own, and people have told me, "Oh, I'm having no luck with the Dad Bros," and that just means you're doing something wrong, which is really something because they're very easy to play. It probably means you haven't invested in their ISO. Um, you don't have any good red stars on them. Maybe I don't know, but it's really hard because even if you have fewer stars, I've had talked to people who've had a lot of success with these guys at 3 or 4 star in DD4, and it's just because these characters take so many dang turns that it's really hard not to have success with them, right? All these guys do is they heal themselves, they get shields and so forth, and they just take a ton of turns and do a lot of damage. So you could see they just annihilate the enemy. And they got a buff recently. I don't know what Scopely was thinking with that. I'm just going to save my cooldowns here. I mean, I think I could have probably one-shot Deadpool there, but why bother, right? I mean, he's going to die anyways. Insane, right? So that gives you a sense of how much better the Dad Bros are. So here's what I would say about Silver Surfer. I think he's definitely a reasonable meta choice. I don't think at 3 stars and 3 red stars that I'm going to say he's better than Hela, better than Minerva, anything like that. But, when we go back to our infographic here, what I think is, he's a character that you should consider the same way that we were considering characters like Proxima or Thanos before. I mean, right now, to me, in terms of meta value, he's clearly much more important than Thanos will be going forward. Obviously, or Thor or Mordo. So I would bring him ahead of these type of characters. I'm not comfortable yet believing that at least at 3 red stars that he's got enough to put this fiery halo around as, and I put it here, a top performer. So, he's definitely somebody who I think would be better off when paired with a really strong team. Obviously, as you saw, you're going to get through with any team, at least the first 2 nodes, pretty easily with any reasonable team. But I just think that, if you really want, for example, to not have to suffer through that last cosmic node, you're going to want to still try to bring at least Minerva or Hela, or just bring the Dad Bros with him. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button below, subscribe to this channel, and below we also have a link to our Discord. Lots of fantastic theory crafting, conversations about DD4 and other game modes there, and then our Twitch stream is linked below as well.